calculator, you do have to put your calculators in scientific notation mode. So if you recall scientific notation from previous years, your first number has to be at least 1 but less than 10. Okay, that's what the correct way of writing a number in scientific notation. So that's why we always write the decimal after the first digit, because it has to be at least 1 but less than 10. So let's just say we had a large number. Okay, let's just say 98 million. And we wanted to write this in scientific notation. And I'm sure you guys know how to do that already. Okay, so if I type in 98 million, okay, what I'm going to do is go up here. And first, let's go ahead and change the mode. So you're going to hit the word mode. You're going to cursor over. Right now, you're probably blinking on normal. So you want to cursor over to SCI, and you want it blinking on SCI. That stands for scientific notation. Okay, and then you just simply hit enter. Just make sure that it's still blinking on scientific notation. Then you want to get out of that. That means you want to just clear it. So I'm just going to quit, and notice quit is right above the word, the button mode. So I'm going to hit second mode just so I'll have a blank screen. So now when I hit enter, it's going to put this in scientific notation for me. Now the way to read this is 9.8, and then the exponent is 7. Well, you know, when we use scientific notation, it's always times 10. So you can't write this on your paper. You would convert it on your paper as 9.8 times 10 to the 7th power. Okay, so don't say 9.8 E7. That's what the calculator tells you. The exponent is 7, but we know we have to say times 10 to the 7th power. So again, let's just put in another number. You can just randomly put in some large numbers if you like. Okay, I'm going to put this in, and then again, I'm going to hit enter because my calculator is already in scientific notation mode. So if I were to write this down, I would write it as 5.36 times 10 to the 5th power. Okay, so let's say I wanted to put in a decimal number. So I'm going to hit 0.25000. Okay, I hit enter. It's going to tell me it's 2.5 times 10 to the negative 1st power. Okay, so that's how you can have your calculator write numbers in scientific notation. So it's going from standard form, we call this the standard form of the number, to the scientific notation. Okay. All right, any questions on just doing that part with the calculator? So sometimes I know you guys have noticed when you turn your calculator sometimes and students have come up and said, oh, I have an E up here. That's because someone probably put the calculator in scientific notation by mistake, but you definitely want to make sure you put it back to normal once you're done. Okay, but we're not done. We're going to use the foldable that you have in front of you. And again, if you don't have the foldable, if you're at home, then that means you would just simply write the problems down. Okay. All right, so the first one on your foldable is a addition problem. Now you do want to type these in exactly like they appear on the paper. That means with the parentheses and all. So let me clear this out. So I'm going to hit the parenthesis and I'm going to type in 6.8 times, and this is 10 to the 8th power. So I'm going to hit 10. Then I'm going to use this caret key right here to raise it to the 8th. Now you got a cursor out, so you want to arrow out once before you close the parenthesis. Okay, and then hit plus, open parenthesis again, and then type in 7.3 times 10 to the 8th. Oh, I got a little bit going on here. Let me delete something here. All right. And then once you hit enter, if you're already there, okay, it will just tell you what the answer is. Okay, and I'm going to cursor out and then close it. So when I hit enter, it is 1.41, and this is what you would write on your paper, 1.41 times, and we do use the X for time, so don't use a dot. We actually, for standard scientific notation, we do use the X. So 1.49 times with the X symbol, 10 to the 9th power. Okay, so all you're doing is just typing these in. Okay, so I'm going to let you practice with the other ones, adding and subtracting, and then I'm going to show you, go over something for when you get to dividing. Okay. So just do one more, and then we're going to skip down to a multiplication one and a division one. All right, so now I want to do a multiplication one. So let's do question number 5. So I'm going to do an open parenthesis, 3.8 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay, arrow out, close it. Now with this, you could just do another parenthesis. You don't need to put a times in between. So my other one is 2.1 times 10 to the 5th. Okay, just cursor out to close it. And then we hit enter. So you will write 7.98 times 10 to the 8th power. Okay. Now, when you are doing division, and I'm going to tell you this because when you're doing the assignment on Blackboard today, the division ones here are written with the parentheses. The division ones that you will see on any other exercise will not have that for you already. So you'll have to remember when you're doing questions like 7 and 8, they're not going to really be there. Those parentheses are not there. However, you must put them there when you're doing division. Okay, so put a little side note. Always use parentheses for division and multiplication. So really, you should always use them when you're doing scientific notation with the graphing calculator. Okay, so when you get to your Blackboard assignment, the parentheses will not be there because that's not how it's going to look on your SOL test. Okay, they're not going to have the parentheses for you. You'll have to know to do that. Okay, so let's try division one. This is 8.4 times 10 to the 7th. And you could definitely do the alpha y equals if you want it to look like a fraction. Okay, it's not necessary, but if you want to do that, you can. So I'm just going to type this in, and then I'm just going to hit the division bar. As long as you have it in parentheses, you'll get the same answer. And then the bottom number is 2.8 times 10 to the 4th. Okay, again, I'm going to cursor out and close it. So when you hit enter, you should have 3 times 10 to the 3rd. Okay, and really that's the whole lesson on scientific notation. As long as your calculator is in scientific mode, it will give you the correct exponent and the correct number for your scientific notation. Okay, answers.